Thanks. Our Brendan McLaughlin joins us live now with a special guest in our studio, Republican Senate candidate Marco Rubio. Brendan?
That's right, Jameson. The former House Speaker is here with us now. Mr. Rubio, you saw that Kendrick Meek and Mr. Green are trying hard to be your opponent in the general election. Which one of those two would you rather go up against? Have you given that some thought?
Well, I haven't, and it's not up to me, number one. I don't vote in the Democratic primary, but number two is it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because this campaign's not just about the people running, it's about what we stand for.
And doesn't it matter who would take more votes from Democrats from Charlie Crist? Wouldn't that be critical?
I don't view it that way. Here's how I view it, basically. If you like the direction our country's going, if you think the president's doing a good job and you think Nancy Pelosi's doing a good job, you should vote for Kendrick Meek or Jeff Green, whoever the nominee is, or you should vote for Charlie Crist if you like the direction of our country. But if you want your next U.S. Senator to be someone that will go to Washington and act as a check and balance on the direction that they're taking our country, I'm the only one running that's going to do that, and that's why I think we're going to win.
Let me ask you about an issue you've been asked about lately, and this is the idea that some of the Republican leadership in the Senate in Washington, D.C. are talking about repealing a portion of the 14th Amendment that guarantees citizenship for anybody that is born in the United States, regardless of the legal status of their parents. Where do you stand on this? Are you with the Republican caucus in the Senate or against them?
I don't think they should be spending time on this issue, and I'll tell you why. Border security is the #1 issue when it comes to immigration. It's the one we should be focused on right now, first and foremost. Anything that takes our attention away from that is not something we should be involved in right now.
So you oppose amending the Constitution on
Yeah,
this
I think
point?
It's an academic exercise. It's not what's driving the problem with illegal immigration. What's driving the problem with illegal immigration is a porous border and a legal immigration system that doesn't work. And right now, what we need to be focused on like a laser is enforcing our laws. America cannot continue to be the only country in the world that does not enforce its immigration laws. And that's what we should be focused on. Washington has proven it can't chew gum and walk at the same time. And so they need to focus on this thing because it's that important.
Let's talk economics for a moment. You criticize your opponent, Charlie Crist, who's the independent candidate in this race, our governor, for accepting the stimulus money from the President of the United States, the Obama stimulus plan. Is that for us to understand that you would have turned down any stimulus money for the state of Florida if you were in the position of Charlie Crist at that time?
Well, let me clarify. I've never criticized him for accepting the money. I've criticized him for supporting the plan.
You're
I think there were better
stimulus, though.
Well, because I don't think government spending stimulates the economy, and it's been proven. Our unemployment rate is at a record high. We went backwards last month now that the jobs are gone from the census. The way politicians and government spending doesn't create jobs. Jobs in America are created by everyday people who start a business or expand an existing one. And I would have supported a real stimulus plan that would have created an environment where the job creators would go out and actually create jobs. That's what government should be focused on, not borrowing money from the Chinese investors to spend into our economy in a way that hasn't generated jobs.
Let's talk about money. The Bush tax cuts are set to expire after 10 years now. The Democrats are proposing that they be allowed to expire except for the taxes for the very wealthy. They want those to stay in place. They want those tax cuts to go away. What is your position on the Bush tax cuts? Would you have them all expire, even those for the very wealthiest Americans?
Well, there is a misnomer. It's not the very wealthiest American.
Top 2%.
Well, no, but listen, there's a bunch of businesses in America that pay their taxes on the personal level.
2% of small business operators.
No, 20 million Americans. 20 million Americans work for companies who are organized as S corporations whose taxes will go up if the Democrat plan passes. That's number one. Number two, the last thing you want to do in a deep recession is raise taxes. And that's what they're proposing that we do. 70% of our economy is consumer spending. 30% of that consumer spending are the people who are going to get hit with this tax increase and the companies that are going to get hit with this tax increase. We should not raise taxes.
You keep all the Bush tax cuts. That's your position?
That's the current tax rate. It should be kept in place. It should be made permanent, and we should make cuts to our deficit in our budgets.
Okay, very good. Marco Rubio is the Republican Senate candidate for U.S. Senate. He's got two opponents in the primary. The general election is August 24th.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.